Okay, people, welcome back to the channel. Today, got a big treat for you. It is FA Cup semi-final predictions. We're already at that stage. It's flown by the tournament. Obviously, we've done round 3, round 4. We've done the last 16 quarters, and we're here. The fifth prediction video. We are going to keep introducing these going into next season. Probably are going to focus a lot more on League One, Championship, Premier League. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, semi-final part 1 on Saturday. It is Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. In my opinion, two teams that were not initially expected to probably get this far, but they are in the last 4. In my opinion, Palace have not had the best season. They've been okay. Glasner's he's got them in a safe position, but they're not fighting for relegation. We're not fighting for top 4, top 6, but I'm sure they can do next season if they have a good summer. They did have a good summer this year. Players like Nketiah bought in, Lacroix brought in, and Ismail Sarr, who have all done good jobs and ensuring they've got this decent finish. But I do think obviously next season they can be in better. For them, this is absolutely massive. The chance of a final. The last time they got this far was 2016, when in fact not this far. But last time they obviously got into the final in 2016, in which they lost to Manchester United, and since then they've not gotten this far. So it's been a long 9 years, but they've finally done it again. And I think for Palace, the chance of European football if they win the tournament, it is unlikely they'll win it, but still there's a chance of European football there, and maybe that will be enough, to get them into the final, the opportunity, because they do deserve it. And obviously Oliver Glasner is a manager who has won the Europa League. He went up with Frankfurt in 2022, beating Rangers in the final. So for Crystal Palace, a lot at stake. The key players this season for me, you've got Dean Henderson, who has been a brilliant shot stopper for them. He's been exactly what they needed, really. They've struggled with goalkeepers for a while. Obviously, it was Vincente Guaita for a while, and then they needed that new man. They've got, obviously, now Henderson, who's been really good for them. You've got Chris Richards, defensively, really good. He's injured at the moment. He might be back for the semis. I'm not too sure about that. You've got Maxim Lacroix, who's been one of the best signs they've made in a long time from Wolfsburg. He has really nailed it. He's a perfect defender, and he links up really well with Mark Gahey. And, I think that going forward, it's going to be a very bright future. Going forward as well, the attack, you've got Eze, you've got Mateta, who obviously was injured against Millwall in round 4, but obviously he's come back strong, and he's now back after having plastic surgery to reconstruct his face. But yeah, they've done very well this season, I think. And then you've got Aston Villa, who on the other hand, 7th. They've been in the Champions League, and obviously this season was a big step for them, obviously, because they were so used to playing just Premier League football and having domestic competitions, whereas this year they've been introduced to Champions League football, so you've got to alternate your schedule and your players' fitness and that, and they've done a good job. 7th place is very respectable. Yeah, but not in a great place to, obviously, they are still in the Champions League, but they're not in a great place to qualify again for it. Obviously, I don't think they'll go all the way. I think they'll be knocked out sooner or later in the quarters or semis. But it's been a very good ride for them. Unai Emery was exactly the right appointment. It's taken a bit of time, but he's finally got them there. Obviously the Conference League ended in heartbreak last year for them, but as I say, they've done a very good job this year so far. But obviously the key players for them, we've had Martinez, who continuously, at the age of 32, he's getting better and better. A brilliant goalkeeper. Defensively, you've got Luca Dean, who's been really great this season. 30 plus years old, but the experience pays off for him. You've got centre-backs Ezri Konsa, who's making a big name for himself in the England squad and the Villa squad. Midfield, you've got Yuri Tielemans, who, of course, won the FA Cup in 2021 with Leicester when they beat Chelsea. Obviously, he scored, I think, he scored the winning goal as well, so the experience for him there. Then going forward, you've got Morgan Rogers and Rashford on loan from United. Rashford's had a good loan, I think. Obviously, he scored a brace against Preston in the quarters, so he's going to be up for it, I think. And then, obviously, Rogers as well. Rogers has had a brilliant season. He's come out of nowhere, Rogers, really. Loaned in the Championship. He was at Bournemouth and Middlesbrough. And then he's just come onto the scene in the Prem. He's done a really good job. But Yeah, and then going forward, you've got Ollie Watkins, who was an absolute machine. They lost John Duran in January, but they've got back well with Watkins. They've not really been impacted too much by only having the one striker. So, yeah, Villa have had a very good season. Can't take away from them. This will, I think, prediction-wise, this will be a very close game. And if I'm being completely honest, I think it's going to go right down to the wire. I reckon it'll go to extra time. So I think in normal time, I will say, this is a tough one. I'll say Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 1. And I genuinely think that Crystal Palace will clinch this in extra time. So I'm going to say Palace 2, Aston Villa 1 after extra time. Goal scored, I think Rashford will score for Palace. I think Rashford will score for Aston Villa, sorry. And for Palace, I think Mateta will get a cheeky goal, and I also think Eze will get a goal. So yeah, I'm back in Palace. Be huge to them, a chance in the final. Up the Eagles, I say. Okay, now the first fixture, the first semi was a very bit of a mismatch. This is going to be a great game. Nottingham Forest versus Manchester City. Third against fifth in the Prem at this time recording. Nuno Santo versus Pep Guardiola. This will be a proper clash, I think. Forest are having one of the best seasons they could have ever asked for. They are bossing it. Third place, they're almost guaranteed the Champions League place now. Obviously, if they get to the final and they go on to win, they would get the Europa League place, but obviously they've qualified for Champions League pretty much, so that would go to the next highest finish in the league. So that'll be quite controversial and interesting. But it is the fact that, Nuno Santo, he was brilliant for Wolves, and it was the way that he guided Wolves to brilliant success. I mean, obviously, it went a bit sour in his last season. He struggled. But, I think that what he did with Wolves is happening. It's very similar to the way that he's got at Forest. He came into the Forest job, obviously, late in last season. They weren't doing very well last season. They struggled massively, I think, in my opinion. And I think the summer window he had the clear out but it's been a case of using what he's had. He's not spent that much money. He's not bought in loads of players. He's got rid of a lot of players, but he's not really made any huge significant changes to the team. And realistically, it's worked wonders because players like Ola Aina and Nikola Milenkovic have been absolutely brilliant. They've been pivotal this season defensively. You've got Matt Sells, who has been superb. He's been one of the best goalkeepers, or arguably the best goalkeeper in the Prem this season. Nico Williams, a really good fullback. Again, very versatile, very technically gifted going forward for them. You've got Gibbs White in midfield, who has been superb. And then Elliot Anderson, who was a great pickup for Newcastle in the summer. You've got Anthony Elanga and Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi signed a permanent, of course. Elanga signed a permanent for Man United. Those two have become a wonderful attacking combination on the wing. I think out of the two, the Elanga and Hudson-Odoi they've caused such trouble this season for all teams. And of course, the main man, their goal machine, Chris Wood, who is 32, 33. He gets goals, but there's been a bit of difference. He has been superb this season. So for Forest, the fans are having an absolute ball. They're living in cloud nine. No one saw this coming, I don't think. So I really hope Forest can get to the final. We're looking now. We then look at City on the other hand. They're currently fifth. It's been a disappointing season for City. They're out of the Carabao Cup. They missed out on the Carabao Cup, out of the Champions League. The Premier League is not going to be there. That's not going to happen. They're fighting for a Champions League place. Obviously, they can get the Europa League place, and again, if they get to the final and win it, they'll grab the Europa League place. But they've already had it probably, so that'll go again to the next closest team. The next team in the Prem standings. But for City, key players this season, there's not been a huge amount. I think in terms of. I think Edison and Ortega, I think in terms of his semi, I think that it will be interesting to see who takes the starting role as goalkeeper because Edison and Ortega have alternated quite a lot this season. I think Pep's made a lot of adjustments in that role particularly. Edison is the main man, but Ortega can come in and he can do a very similar job. There's not much of a difference with these two. You know exactly what you're getting from them. Defensively, you've had Josh Grigovardo, who had a great season, very versatile, can play at left back and centre back. He can even move into midfield if he wants to. Kevin De Bruyne, obviously, in recent days has confirmed he will be leaving at the end of the season upon expiry of his contract. It's a big loss to City. You could argue that De Bruyne hasn't been quite as good as he has been in recent seasons this season. But still, he's there. He's the main man. They will miss him. I think the fans. He's been a huge player for them in their journey, to multiple Premier League titles and obviously the Champions League they picked up in recent years. Going forward, you've got players like Phil Foden and Doku, and then Savinho. Savinho was an amazing signing from Girona. He has been what they need, really: attacking threat, skillful, technically gifted going forward. Very similar to Phil Foden. Doku as well. Doku is a perfect alternate player who can come in when needed to do a good job. And then you got İlkay Gundogan in the midfield, who I thought was controversial to bring him back from Barca after a season out, but he's come back and straight away he did a good job. You got Kovacic as well, who was again a good pickup last season from Chelsea. Such wonderful talent they've got, City. And obviously going forward, you've got Haaland and Omar Mamouche. Now obviously with Haaland, he's out. He got injured in the semi-finals against Bournemouth. He's out until I think it's the 10th of May apparently. So it will be Mamouche taking his place. Mamouche is a very good player, versatile. He's bagged a lot of goals. He's been exactly what they said he needed, a versatile player to come in and get him some form. He's done really well. And I think prediction here is really tough. Deep down, I think City need this. They've got nothing. I mean, they're playing for nothing really this season. They've got a chance at Champions League place, but I think they'll settle for the Europa League place. I don't think they'll push for the Champions. I think they'll miss out. But yeah, they aren't playing much. The FA Cup's their last hope. I think arguably you could argue that Pep might be gone this summer. The board might think it's time for a change. It would be a bit dramatic, Matt, when you look at how good he's been for them, but it might happen. But prediction here, I'm going to say it's going to be a great game, and I reckon it'll go to penalties, I think. I'm going to say Nottingham Forest 2, City 2. I think extra time won't change. And then on penalties, I think Nottingham Forest will win. It'd be huge for them. So yeah, with that, I think the final will be Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest. It'd be a great final. And good luck, Nottingham Forest. So with that, thank you for watching. I hope you agree with what I've said. And if you don't, obviously, please comment down below your opinions. As I say, I think it will be Palace, Forest. It's going to be a very good final, if that is the case. And yeah, I really hope Forest win, because Forest deserve it. They've not won any, they've not won a trophy this season, but to win the FA Cup would be absolutely massive for them. So go on, Forest, get it done. Please deny City of another trophy. It'd be great to have. It would be great to see them have a trophy this season. So yeah, up Forest. Thanks for watching, guys. Please share this video. Please follow us on all socials: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Please subscribe. Please like. And without further ado, see you next time.